Hello, I am Midnight Drift, and I've always been a fan of Star Wars ever since I was a little kid. And with so many new projects being announced, I figured why not talk about all of them and rank them by how excited I am for them. Now keep in mind, I won't be talking about any of the books or comics, I'll only be talking about the movies, TV shows, and games. Sorry, but I don't like to read. Also keep in mind, I started writing this the day before Tales of the Underworld came out, so it'll definitely be out by the time this video is, but I'm not changing the script because I'm lazy. So in last place, in number 29, I have the Season of the Force 2025. This is a live event performance at Disneyland. I'm not going to Disneyland anytime soon, so I'm not even going to experience this. At number 28, I have Star Wars Young Jedi Adventure Season 3. I'll be honest, I did not watch the first two seasons. I try to watch all Star Wars content that comes out, but after like 3 minutes of the first episode, I just had to shut it off. I couldn't take it. So I will not be watching Season 3. At number 27, I have Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy Pieces of the Past. And I don't watch most of the Lego stuff either. I love the games, but the shows are just too kiddie for me, so I'm probably not going to watch this. At number 26, I have Star Wars Grand Collection. This is just a collection of a bunch of Star Wars games, most of which I've already played, so I don't see any reason to buy it. At number 25, I have Millennium Falcon Smugglers Run Mandalorian Mission. This is a short film that's going to be added to the Millennium Falcon ride at Disneyland. And like I said, I'm not rich enough to go to Disneyland, but who knows, maybe I'll watch it on YouTube or something. Now moving on to the stuff I actually am going to watch. At number 24, I have Taika Waititi's Untitled Star Wars film. Now, I don't have anything against Taika Waititi. I think he's a good director, but if recent years have showed us anything, it's that all of his best movies are comedies. And I don't know about you, but I do not want to see a Star Wars comedy movie. And if Thor Love and Thunder was any indication, this movie will probably be a complete mess. At number 23, I have Star Wars Episodes 10, 11, and 12. Now, I used to be super excited about new Star Wars movies, but after Rise of Skywalker, I just don't care about the Skywalker saga anymore. And also, these movies are going to be directed by Simon Kinberg, who also directed Dark Phoenix. Allowing the same guy who ruined the Fox X-Men universe to make the next big event movie in the Star Wars franchise is probably the dumbest decision they could have made. Like, was there really nobody else they could have hired? At number 22, I have the upcoming Star Wars trilogy by Rian Johnson. Now, I know there's a lot of mixed opinions regarding The Last Jedi. Some people liked it, some people didn't. I thought it fucking sucked. So I'm really not hyped to see what Rian has in store for us with this movie. But it is supposed to be a standalone trilogy, so it probably won't ruin any established characters. At number 21, I have A Pirate's Fortune. This is a DLC that's going to be added to Star Wars Outlaws. Now, I thought Outlaws was decent. It wasn't good, it wasn't terrible, it was just decent. But I saw the trailer, and this DLC does look kind of fun, so I'm cautiously hopeful for what Ubisoft has in store. At number 22, I have Star Wars A Droid Story. It's an animated movie that will introduce a new character who will be guided by R2-D2 and C-3PO in some side adventure that doesn't matter. Recently, animated Star Wars projects have been really hit or miss, but the premise sounds interesting enough so that I'm decently excited for this movie. Now at number 19, I have Star Wars Starfighter. This is set after The Rise of Skywalker and is a standalone live-action movie that is directed by Sean Levy. Now, there's not a lot of information about this movie, but from what I read, it could potentially include characters from the sequel movie, which could be interesting. At number 18, I have Rogue Squadron. It's going to be a movie about a group of fighter pilots as they go on a high-stakes mission. It's also directed by Patty Jenkins, who directed Wonder Woman, which was pretty good, so this movie could be fun. At number 18, I have The New Jedi Order. This is supposedly going to be the Rey Solo movie set after The Rise of Skywalker where she rebuilds the Jedi. Now look, I hate The Rise of Skywalker as much as everyone else, believe me. But with the way that film wrapped up, this movie could act as a fresh start for Rey and the other sequel characters as well. And I'm curious to see how this movie is going to push the story forward. At number 16, I have Lando. This is going to be a sequel spin-off to Solo, a Star Wars story, which I actually enjoyed quite a bit. There's very little info about it, but I think it has the potential to be fun. At number 15, I have Star Wars Maul Shadow Lord. This is going to be a Darth Maul solo series set in between the Clone Wars and Rebels. Now, I personally think that both of those series wrapped up his character perfectly, and there wasn't really a need for his character to have a continuation. But I saw the trailer for this and it looked pretty badass, so I'm pretty excited to see what this series has in store. At number 14, I have Star Wars Jedi Prime, also known as Star Wars Dawn of the Jedi. This is going to be a prequel movie that explores the origins of the Jedi and the Sith. Now, as much as I love recent projects like Andor and the Jedi games, I'm starting to get kind of sick of the Rebel versus Empire conflict. Like, we know how it started, we know how it ends, so it's just starting to get kind of played out. And I've always wanted Star Wars to push itself into the far future or far past so that we can just have a fresh slate where we don't have to worry about Luke or Palpatine or any of the other characters we've seen dozens of times. So the fact that this movie is going to do exactly that makes me excited. I can't wait to see this movie. At number 13, I have Star Wars Tales of the Underworld. Now, I haven't seen Tales of the Empire yet, but Tales of the Jedi was a very solid anthology series, so I'll be sure to check out Tales of the Underworld. At number 12, I have the Knights of the Old Republic movie. Now, I bet a lot of you didn't even know this was a thing, but it's true. There is a movie in development based on the first KOTOR game. Now, on one hand, I'm very excited to see how this amazing game gets adapted to the big screen, but on the other hand, adapting a 29-hour long game into a 2-hour movie just seems like a bad idea. Like, even if it was 3 hours, there would be so many things they would have to cut. But regardless, I have high hopes for this project because it has the potential to be something special. At number 11, I have Star Wars Zero Company. This is going to be a turn based tactics game that will follow a Republic Special Forces team during the Clone Wars. Now, I'm not a super huge fan of turn based tactics games, but the promotional material for this game does look pretty good, so I'm excited for it. At number 10, I have Star Wars Ragtag. Now, this was originally going to be a first person shooter that was going to be set in between A New Hope and The Empire Strikes Back. It was going to be developed by Visceral Games before then being cancelled. But then it was revived, this time being developed by Skydance. Now, there's not a lot of information about it after the revival, but it will be directed by Amy Hennig, who created the Uncharted series, so the story for this game is probably going to be awesome. So yeah, very excited for this one. At number 9, I have Ahsoka Season 2. I liked Ahsoka Season 1, so I'm pretty excited for Season 2. I'm excited to see Thrawn again, and especially with the way Season 1 ended, I think this season has a lot of potential. At number 8, I have Star Wars Visions Presents The Ninth Jedi. This is going to be a spin off of Star Wars Visions that will continue the Ninth Jedi episode from Season 1. And yeah, that was a really good episode, and it ended on a cliffhanger, so I'm glad that they're continuing the story. At number 7, I have The Mandalorian and Grogu. Now, at first, I thought a Mandalorian movie was kind of a bad idea, but after seeing how much filler was in Season 3, I'm glad that they're reducing the runtime. But I love both of these characters, and we haven't had a new Star Wars movie in 6 years, so I hope this will be the one that finally brings Star Wars back to theaters. At number 6, I have The New Republic. Now, this movie will not only be a sequel to Mandalorian and Grogu, but it will also act as a crossover with the Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, and Skeleton Crew, and will have Thrawn as the main villain. So it's basically an Avengers style crossover event where we have a bunch of different heroes teaming up to fight one super powerful villain, which is Thrawn. And I am a huge Thrawn fan. Thrawn in the Legends universe is one of the most interesting and complex characters in the entire franchise. He's an Imperial officer who takes over the Empire after the death of Palpatine, but I think he's more interesting because he doesn't just do evil things just for the sake of power, but because he believes his actions are justified for the greater good. He's basically what Doctor Doom is for the MCU right now if Palpatine was Thanos. And we haven't seen a lot of him on screen yet, but his appearance on Ahsoka was pretty cool. The makeup was so good. And I'll be honest, my hype for this movie is more hype for Thrawn than for the movie itself. I honestly don't know what the plot is or how these characters are going to team up. I mean, honestly, what are the kids from Skeleton Crew going to do against Thrawn? Let's be real here. But I hope this movie will be good. I really do. At number 5, I have Star Wars Visions Volume 3. The first 2 seasons were amazing, and I'm sure this one will be great too. There will also be some sequels to episodes from Season 1, so that will be cool. At number 8, I have Star Wars Eclipse. This is going to be a story based game set during the prequels and will include major decisions that affect the outcome of the story. And it's being developed by Quantic Dream, who created some of the best story driven games of all time, like Heavy Rain and Detroit Become Human. So this game will probably be an emotional roller coaster just like those games. At number 3, I have Andor Season 2. Andor is easily the best live action Star Wars show of all time. It's really no contest. And this will be the final season. And even though I know it won't have a happy ending, I am very excited to see where the story goes. At number 2, I have Star Wars Jedi 3. This will be the last game in the Jedi series and will conclude the story of Cal Kestis. The first two Jedi games, and Survivor specifically, are some of my favorite Star Wars games of all time, not just because of the gameplay, but because of the story and the characters. This game is going to be very interesting because Survivor ended on a pretty dark note, with Cal raising the daughter of his former friend who he killed. And the reason I have this above Andor is because with Andor, we basically know how it's going to end. Andor is going to live, and the Empire is going to remain in power. But with Jedi 3, we really have no idea what will happen. Is Cal going to succumb to the dark side? Is he gonna fucking die? Is he gonna try and get his revenge on Vader? There are so many possibilities for the story, and I cannot wait to play it. And at number 1, I have the Knights of the Old Republic remake. Now, this one just kind of goes without saying. KOTOR is possibly the best Star Wars story ever told, and now it's getting a remake. Not a remaster, but a full, from the ground up remake. And this has been stuck in development hell for a long time, but I hope to God that it's not canceled, because if it does come out, then it will definitely end up being a masterpiece just like the original. And that concludes my ranking. Did you learn anything new today? Do you want to see more Star Wars content from me in the future? Did you disagree with any of my rankings? You probably did. Let me know in the comments below. I am Midnight Drift, and I will see you guys later.